Normally I kind of brush over this subject. Today, however, I'll give you the extended cut. Breaking your love. I'm Star and I make videos with hardstyle production while pretending this doesn't hurt my actual hardstyle production. And today we are talking about mix intros, the extended part of the extended cut. What is a mix intro? A mix intro or extended cut is a bit of a song that you as listeners shouldn't be confronted with in general. However, it is essential for DJs so they can transition from one song to the other seamlessly. They are often kind of bland and very rhythmic with a couple of key elements on certain locations. So think about a drop shout or a kick roll at a set location, for example at the halfway mark. That way you can kind of tease elements of the next song while the previous one is still playing. Why would you make one? Well, if you want your song to be played by DJs, or if you are a DJ or you plan to DJ, this is again essential. They can't mix in your song properly if you don't have something like this included. Most, if not all songs you like have a mix intro that you can download or buy somewhere. So to actually show you how to make one, I'm gonna make one for this project. This is a bit of a raw-ish song that I've been working on behind the scenes, and I'm gonna give this a mix intro, as currently it doesn't have any. I said 16, FL Studio says 17. That is the start of this bar, right? So this is the 16th bar, that's the entire length. Depending on your song, you may need to give this a bit of rest between the mix intro and the actual start of the song. Now we need to decide what kind of drums we want and if we want to go for like an actual drum one or a punch based one. I think punched one with drums is best like in combination because it's like characteristic and still very easy to mix in. I try to recycle as much as I can from the actual song because for one, you already have all the elements, and two, this will make it actually fit the vibe of your song. For example, I have a couple of hi-hat loops in there like these, and a snare builder from there. Yeah. You definitely want there to be building tension so the DJ can easily predict whenever it ends. Now let's find a punch that I want to use for this. And this song has a couple of punches because it is quite a heavy song. Okay, so I'm gonna figure out the tail as well because I honestly like a bit of... Yeah! So this is just a punch copy pasted for far too long, and in the second half I'm adding a bit of a tail. Is this enough to actually mix it in? Probably, but it is fucking boring and I definitely want there to be some variation and some rests whenever I can take them. Yeah, these definitely work. Let's get a couple of these and let's place them, I don't know, there. Yeah, I think this is a pretty cool variation already. So I got this weird Zaag kick with a pitch down filter, right? So with this fucked up snare with a bit of distortion and a bit of reverb. It is just a teeny tiny bit of distortion and reverb. And I think it's just a very nice addition to it. Let's find the vocal for the halfway point and perhaps the ending. Yeah, let's use this vocal. And every time you see me paste something very characteristic, I try to leave the punches open. Of course, there is a vocoder in there as well. Let's make sure I get the details right, otherwise you're all gonna roast me, which is not something I'm mentally equipped to handle. I made this very characteristic plug in this project, so let's use that as well. Some crash and sweeps definitely help make this feel more complete, so let's add a impact, crash impact. Let's maybe add a sweep down there, and let's add crashes on both the start and the halfway mark. This shouldn't take too much time, right? Making a mix intro shouldn't take too much time. Like, again, this is something only the DJ can actually hear. I like how nothing is aligned in this project. Hell yeah, this is already starting to sound pretty cool. I still need something right there. Say goodnight. Yeah, I think, of course it's clashing, with everything. I think there needs to be a rest in between. Like, I kind of thought this didn't need a rest, but it still does. Yeah, just selecting all of this and just dragging it to the start, and now we have a toolbar break in between. And we can either add like a nice heavy kick with a lot of reverb on there, or a deep sub impact. Both work roughly the same. Or like equally well. Okay, so let's add some screeches, maybe. Not necessarily happy with how full this already starts to sound. I'm gonna see if I can get rid of this, and if it still sounds good after. Let's just steal this ARP and make it a separate pattern. Yeah, pattern 20, cool. So I've been playing around a bit. I've added this bit crusher to the ARP, and the bit crusher has a pitch thing rate, whatever. It is something I've done in the track itself, so I didn't make this for the mix intro, because why would I put everything in this? No, this is sick. This is sick. Okay, let's add a reverse punch. So let's duplicate. Let's reverse. Wham. Sick. Now let's add a shitload of reverb on this kick. Maybe on the reverb, or on the kick bus itself. That could be sick. Maybe venue, maybe cathedral. I always have like... Nah. Hell yeah, cathedral all the way, man. So let's automate the wetness from 0 to hero. Actually, no, let's do the mix level. Cool, and I always want to add a bit of a punch in there as well. And let's... Okay, so to make this transition work, I'm gonna do a couple of things. I'm gonna get this ARP going on in there. Or maybe start with this and again. I simplified it and then made it a bit more extreme. Okay, to make this transition work better, I think I'm gonna need to fill in either something with the 808 or with the vocal. And I think the vocal might be the easier choice in there because I had this second part. I think I'm gonna do something with this because it is, like, first of all, already made. And second of all, I think the vibe in there is really cool. I know this is offset by half, so like there. And now we need to figure out a nice bit that actually works with there. And this is like the, if you wanna, that's the same part as there, right? Yeah, which might not be the best choice. Ooh, I can just loop this part. Cool, and then like this dry snare I had earlier. There, yeah. Hell yeah. So this is pretty much everything, right? I definitely need to spend a bit more time to make this transition seamless. However, this already works really well. And this is pretty much the essentials on how to make an actual mix intro. Some pointers I think are really useful. I think a higher sounding punch, so for example one like that, with a lot of high end. If you want me to help you, guide you through your projects and your learning, if you want me to help you with production, hit me up on Fiverr, as I do one-to-one video call sessions where I guide people through making music. We can look at your projects together, and you can look at my projects, and I often give fun bonuses and whatever to help you make your own music. If that sounds interesting to you, again, hit me up on Fiverr. If you have any video suggestions or just questions you struggle with in general, leave a comment and tell me what you want me to make a video on, and perhaps I'll cover it. If you want to help this channel out, leaving a comment tends to be one of the best ways to let YouTube know that this video is worth recommending. Now, before I show you the end result, I want to thank you all for watching. It was a pleasure to be your host once again. Until we meet again.